One question that goes back to your story is, how hard is it for people when doctors try to get them started immediately on a chemo or a radiation? And you said, wait a second, I'm going to go home and at least think about it and take some time, where often the case is you're scheduled 2, 3, 4 days down the road after your diagnosis and you're getting started. How important is it just to at least take that time to step away and either do some research or evaluate your options or think about it?
I think it's very, very important, Scott. I mean, most cancers are not that emergent, at least from my experience of talking with people. You know, they have a little bit of time to make a decision that's right for them. And so often they go and are rushed into this, and then they end up going to the alternative doctors because they still have problems, either the side effects and all. So I think it's very important that people have that time. And if you have to be sometimes a little assertive, because as I say, with me, they had the surgeon there when they got the results back from the biopsy. The surgeon came with my doctor and they were all set to go. And that's when I said, no, wait a minute, which was very unusual for a nurse back that far back. And, you know, some nurses still would, well, whatever the doctor says. And it was just as difficult with my colleagues, because my colleagues were all, what the doctor says is what you do. But I think, Scott, that it's so important that people get all of the information, even if, you know, they need a little time to look on the internet, although the internet is sometimes not too helpful because there's so much there and you don't know where to start and you get overwhelmed. And a lot of the people that call me, you know, because of my cancer foundation, they have tried the internet and they're just so overwhelmed. And I had one man call me. He's high up in the NFL, and his mother had cancer, and I spent about 2.5 hours with him. You know, I usually start with the vitamin D as another thing that's such a big one, 75%. Of course, I suspect that 75% of the population in the north have low vitamin D, but I spent, and then every day he emailed, he called me and all this stuff, and after about 2 weeks he said, well, let's cut to the chase. He said, what do you really have to do? I said, you really have to do this whole protocol. Each piece is very important. The vitamin A is just as important as the Laetrile. You can't just pick and choose unless you want to pick and choose some other things to use along with it. So I didn't hear from him for about 2 or 3 months after that. And then he kind of got over it, and I heard from him again.